one of my favorite quotes of all time is that everything rises and falls on leadership. John Maxwell, my mentor, says, everything rises and falls on leadership. Everything. You want to grow in your career, it rises and falls on leadership. You want to grow in your business, it rises and falls on leadership. Can you tap your neighbor and say, everything rises and falls on leadership? Now, can we do a little demonstration? Can we raise our hands like this? And then put the other one like this. Great. Now, this hand that you raised is everything you want to ever achieve in life. Progress in career, right? What else do you want to achieve? You know them, right? Great. This represents everything you want to achieve in life. This other hand is your level of leadership. So if we want to practicalize that quote, it means that everything rises and falls on. There's never a time in history where what you want in life rises above your level of leadership. It's not possible. Everything comes to this level of leadership. So you want to increase your value in the marketplace, increase your lead of leadership, and then what happens? You will automatically rise. Everything will automatically rise to your level of leadership. So leadership is very, very important. It is a game changer in the life of everyone. So why are we studying this topic today? It's so that we can be better and so that we can have influence in the world. So what is leadership? What is leadership? What is leadership? Leadership is one word. One word. Leadership is not titles. Okay? Leadership is not positions. Leadership is not authority. Leadership is one word. What is that word? Influence. Influence. So you may ask the question, am I a leader? If you have somebody that listens to you, you have a social media handle, you have people that follow you, you have peer pressure, you have peer friends, and you have a voice. You have influence. And therefore, if you have influence, you are a leader. So how many leaders do we have in the house? If you are a leader, shout, I'm a leader. I'm a leader. Great. So on the first day, God created a monkey. And God told the monkey, play monkey tricks and make people laugh. And I'm going to give you 20 years. The monkey said, 20 years for making people laugh and playing monkey tricks? Why don't I take 10 years and I'll give you back 10 years? The second day, God said, okay, no problem. The second day, God created a dog. And God told the dog, bark at everyone that passes in the frontage. Protect your owner. And I'm going to give you 20 years. The dog said, 20 years for barking. Why don't I take 10 years and give you back 10 years? On the third day, God created a cow. And God told the cow, give birth to calves, serve the master, plow the floor, provide milk to the farmer. And I'm going to give you 60 years. The cow shouted, 60 years for enslavement. I will take 20 years and give you back 40 years. So how many years do we have excess now that they are giving back to God? 40 plus 10 plus 10. Then on the fourth day, God created man. And God told man, just enjoy, have fun, and get married. But I'm going to give you a lifespan of, who can guess? 70. Wow. Another guess? God gave man 20 years. Can you guess the reaction of man? Can you guess? It's not enough. So man said, God, you already have 60 years that they gave you. I'm going to take the 60 years and add it to my 20 years. God looked at man and said, okay, agreed. That is why the first 20 years of our life, we are just directionless and just playing and having fun. And then the next 40 years of our life, We labor in the marketplace trying to make ends meet and feed our family. The next 10 years, we play monkey tricks to entertain our grandchildren. And in the last 10 years, we are backing at everyone that passes at the front. Now, what's the essence of the story? We have 40 years to work. We youths, we are at our prime. And we must maximize the gift that God has given us, our time and our energy during our prime. Therefore, the underscore of the story is simple. That life is a choice. Leadership is a choice. You are a product of the choices that you have made. Your tomorrow will be determined by the choice you make or the choices you will make today. Okay? So, what is leadership again? Influence. What is leadership? Influence. One word. Okay? And influence means a lot of things, but I don't want to go too deep into that. So, in the Maxwell Leadership Team, we talk about the 5 levels of leadership. 5 levels of leadership. And most times, many people get stuck in the first level of leadership, and which is the lowest level of leadership. The first level of leadership is the positional level of leadership. Can we correct it together? Positional level of leadership. This is where you see people fighting over titles. I am the coordinator. I am the supervisor. I am the head. They fight over titles, but they do not understand that it is the least level of leadership. At this level of positional level of leadership, people follow you because they have to. Not because they want to, but because they have to. And 3 things happen at this level of leadership. 3 things. Please take note and write, okay? Number 1 is that they look for security based on their title more than their talent. Don't you know I'm the supervisor? You must obey. So they enforce, and their security is based on their title, not on their talents. Number 2 is that they rely on their leaders' influence, not building their own influence. And number 3 is that they can't get people to follow them beyond their confined or defined authority. It is a good place to start, but it's a bad place to remain. Positional level of leadership is a good place to start, but a bad place to remain. The second level of leadership is permission level of leadership. What did I say? Permission. This is based on relationships. Yeah, people follow you because they want to. And the motto on this level of leadership is that nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Do you care for me? That's the motto there. There's empathy, there's relationships. The third level is the production level of leadership. Production level. This is the level of leadership where you produce results and people follow you because of the results that you can help them to produce. Third level of leadership is what? Permission, production level. And at this level, several things happen. This is where the magic happens in your leadership journey. Production level. Number 1, productivity starts to go up. Number 2, people begin to reach their potentials. Number 3, profit. If you're a business person, profit increases. I'm sure business people will like that, right? Profit increases. Number 4, the morale of the people following you is high. The next one is that turnover becomes very low, meaning that fewer people will leave because they are getting value where they are with you. And the next thing is that the team loyalty increases. The 4th level of leadership is people development, where you start investing in people. Remember where we're going to. The topic is what? Result-oriented leaders. So the 4th level is people development. The essence of leadership is not to raise more followers, but to raise more leaders. It's to raise more what? Leaders. The last level of leadership there is the pinnacle. People like Daddy Gio have gotten there where people follow you because of what you represent. But since we're talking about results, it is important I mention the 4 stages of competence. And this is a situation where many of us have found ourselves. The first level of competence is the unconscious incompetence. I was at this level some years ago. At this level, you don't know that you don't know. Can you imagine negotiating salary with somebody that doesn't know that he doesn't know? You are thoroughly incompetent, you don't know you are not competent. When I was at the age of 27, I just left university, I had served, I had come to Lagos then. You know, the only job I could get at that time was a 7,000 naira monthly job, monthly salary job, where I had to trek to the workplace every day back and forth because I couldn't get any other job. And the reason being that I also came out from the university with a 3rd class degree. So my case was bad. It wasn't just that there were no jobs in the market, but I didn't have the degree. You know, while we were in school, I beg, nothing happened, you know. When we got to the marketplace, I realized that all this while I was unconsciously incompetent. My desire at that time was to work in Oceanic Bank. How many of you remember Oceanic Bank? What's the color of Oceanic Bank? Blue. That's why I love to wear blue. At some point, I had blue shirts Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday. I was always wearing. Somebody called me one day and said, "Oga, is the only one shirt you wear?" I said, "It's different too. It's just blue." I wanted to work in a Oceanic Bank. They didn't give me work. Then I made a decision in that teaching job. I said, I'm going to invest in myself. And I tell you, that decision changed the trajectory of my life. I said I resigned from the job. And I went for a 1-month leadership and personal development training on the island, sponsored by Samsung then. It was at that training I realized that I could be better than where I was. I was fortunate after the training, I got employed by a woman that was teaching in Lagos Business School. But when I was working there, that was where I learned business and understood everything about business. If I didn't take that decision to embark on personal development and leadership training, I may never have met her. Okay? Tell your neighbor, growth starts at the end of comfort zone. It starts at the end of comfort zone, okay? The reason why we're not getting results is because you are too comfortable. Sometimes you need to just get out of that comfort zone. But it took a decision. That's why I said leadership is a choice. You must take that decision and embark on this job. Why am I saying this story? Because the investment in personal and leadership skills is the bedrock for result-oriented life. You want to get results? It depends on you. It depends on you. It depends on me. Enough of blaming our school system. It depends on you. And you must take responsibility for the life that you desire. Remember, I'm still on number 1 stage of competency, right? The second stage is the conscious incompetence. Now you realize that you are thoroughly incompetent and you need to make a decision for the betterment of your life. And then you move to the next stage, which is the conscious competence, where you begin to put in efforts, attend leadership trainings, buy courses, programs to build yourself. And then the 4th level that we all need to get to is the unconscious competence, where value and results becomes your second nature. So So who then is a result-oriented leader? Who? Who is a result-oriented leader? And I gave a very simple definition to it. Number one, a result-oriented leader is a leader who focuses on what needs to be achieved rather than the steps to take. And I'll give you a story. But can I say that definition again? A result-oriented leader is one who focuses on what needs to be achieved rather than what? The steps to take. So in an employment or in an office, you have two staff. Let's say staff A and staff B. And the issue at that in the office is that the light went off. You tell employee A, call the electrician. Call the electrician and get him to fix the light. You come back the next day and the light is not fixed. You call the employee A, what happened? Oh, I called the electrician and he didn't answer my call. So you tell the employee A again, okay, why don't you send an SMS? And you go back your way, expecting that the light should have been fixed. You come back again the third day and you realize that the light wasn't fixed yet. Employee A, what happened? Oh, I sent an SMS and he has not responded. That is a typical example of a task-oriented person. Now, second scenario, employee B, you tell him that the light is bad and we need to fix it. Employee B calls the electrician, didn't pick the call, sent an SMS, didn't respond, goes the extra mile to solve the issue. What is the issue to be solved? The light issue, not the activity involved. So who is the result-oriented leader? Someone that focuses on solving the problem. When you want to promote somebody in the workplace, who will you promote? The one that focuses on solving the problem. That's a result-oriented leader. So the question I would like to ask you is, the results for which you're performing a particular task, has it been achieved? If it has not been achieved, it's as good as not performing the task. On my laptop, for example, the first thing that greets me on my laptop and that helps me to reset my mind are these mottos that I wrote down. Number one is that I make no excuses. A result-oriented leader makes no excuse. He focuses on I make things happen. When I open my laptop, that's what I see first. Second one is that everything is my fault. I'm not going to blame anybody for anything. I'm not going to blame my employees in the office. I take responsibility. The third one is, I tell the truth, especially to myself. You know, many of us, we judge people based on their actions. And then we judge ourselves based on our intentions. We don't tell ourselves the truth. Some are unconsciously incompetent, but they will not tell themselves the truth. We must tell ourselves the truth. In our journey of life, where am I now? What has led me to where I am now? Is it my fault? I must take responsibility. There's this quote I love so much. It says, the degree to which a person can grow is directly proportional to the amount of truth he can accept without running away. Okay, so let me run quickly. How can I become a result-oriented leader? Number one, we must be intentional. We must be intentional. Growth doesn't happen. It doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen automatically. No one ever achieved greatness by wishing for greatness. They took actions. You must be intentional. So you may say you're working very hard, working very hard in your place of work. You have a career, you have a business. But are you intentional with your growth? Are you intentional? James Allen said, people are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are reluctant to improve themselves, so they remain bound. Typical people focus on the circumstance. Meanwhile, the solution is in you. It's in focusing on you. You are the solution. And that is what this conference is set to do, to create a paradigm shift in our minds. Focusing on the circumstances won't change the circumstance. Focus on you. James Allen says, people are anxious, they are anxious, they are anxious. Whereas they should be focusing on themselves, they focus on the circumstances. Everything gets better when we get better. And nothing gets better if we don't get better. So, excuses that we must get rid of as I try to wrap up. Excuses that we must get rid of. Number one, the assumption excuse. Assumption. I will assume I will automatically grow. The only thing that automatically grows or happens in life is death. That's the only thing that's automatic. Every other thing is not automatic. There must be some level of intentionality. Knowledge gap, knowledge excuse. I don't know how to grow. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 23 verse 23, it says, buy the truth and sell it not. Also wisdom, also instructions, and also what? Go to them that know and buy. Sometimes you may buy with money. Sometimes you may buy with time. I had the best moment of my life working for the woman lecturer in Lagos. You know what that moment was for me? I didn't pay for it. It was a moment that I cherish for the rest of my life. So sometimes you buy with time, with dedication, with service, so that you can know. Because what you don't know will rule you. I had a situation where I had to do some mechanical work in my vehicle, and the guy just came. Another 1 minute, 20,000. I said, 20,000. Wait till you touch. He said, oh, I will show you later, but pay me first. Can you imagine? Because he knew. Because he knew. Okay? Timing gap. Oh, the time is not right. I need to graduate first. Oh, I need to get a second degree. The timing is now. Because the longer you wait to do something, the odds are greater against you that you will never do those things. Law of diminishing returns will start in. Okay? So get rid of that timing gap. The next one is failure gap. Mistake gap rather. Oh, I'm afraid of making mistakes. Can I tell you, I have made several mistakes. I just told you one. I failed in the university, right? I started a business in the inverter space, invested a whole lot of money, went, got partnerships in China and all that. The business didn't succeed. I started another one again, it didn't succeed. I just started another one this year again. I'll keep starting because failure is an event. Hello? Failure is not a person. It is an event. We learn every day. Okay? So avoid, you make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. Perfection gap. Oh, I want everything to be perfect. Now, sometimes this is what I do, and as I wrap up, this is what I do. Every time I'm faced with a failure, this is what I ask myself. Lord, are you trying to tell me something? Because number one, failure doesn't mean you are a failure. It just means you have not succeeded. Number two, it doesn't mean you are a fool. It just means you have enough courage to dare to experiment. So you may have failed in your office before. You tried it, it didn't work, everybody made fun of you. Try it again. Try it again. Try it again. Try it again. We have told the story of Thomas Edison 10,000 times to do an experiment. Who would do an experiment for 10,000 times? That person must be insane. Only insane people get results. So if I have to be insane to get results, I'd rather be. Okay? Number three, failure doesn't mean you have been disgraced. It means you just dare to try. It doesn't mean you are in fear. It means you are not perfect. And it's okay not to be perfect. Failure doesn't mean you have wasted your life. It means you have been given an opportunity to start again. When I came out of the university with a third class degree, all I kept on telling myself was, how can 4 years determine the rest of my life? Everybody was judging me based on what I came out with instead of based on what I could be. That's how they will judge you. But yeah, they want to make up your mind that I'm going to start anyways. And I'm going to do it afraid. I'm going to change the story and change the trajectory of my life. This is how we can get results. Lastly, failure doesn't mean that God has abandoned you. It means God has a better idea. Lastly, as I wrap up, the comparison gap. Tell your neighbor you are better than me. Tell him, free. Free. You are smarter than me. Free, I give you. You are more gifted than me. Take it. You know why? Because many of us, we compare ourselves with others. That person is better than me. Oh, that person can speak. We compare and we don't do anything. So that's your neighbor. You are better. I give it to you. Let's get over it. You are the best. Because I'm not competing with you. I'm competing with myself. What does the Bible say about comparison? They that compare themselves with others are not. Tell your neighbor, be wise. Be wise, be wise, be wise. Go out there and get results. Blessed.